the novels and reasons for the rise of it. We will start about talking about the novels. Second, we will talk about the factors or the reasons or the factors that influence the rise of it, meaning the novel. First, we will talk about the Industrial Revolution. Second, the decline of romance and drama. I think this we will cover today. And the rest of it, the rise of middle class, mobile library, and women role. Novels in the 18th century tended to be source of entertaining, also way of changing society mentally. What that means, novels in the 18th century started to be like literary genre or something for entertainment, شيء للمتعة. And like with writers like Daniel Defoe, Samuel Richardson with Pamela, Henry Fielding with Shamala, and Lawrence Stern as well. So let's read this one. Abstract. The abstract novel as a literary genre enjoyed the highest level of glory in the 18th century. The authors, namely Daniel Defoe, Richardson, Henry Fielding, and Lawrence Stern, contributed significantly to the development of English novel. They helped a lot with the development of the English novel. And when we are talking about the English novel, we're talking about the European novel. When we say English, we meant Europe or England. They influenced the writers who came after them, like Daniel Defoe influenced Samuel Richardson. Now, Daniel Defoe, the way he is writing is like events, but Samuel Richardson, events with the psychology of the character. There is not such a huge difference or sharp difference between them, but there's difference, okay? So Daniel Defoe was focusing on events are coming, what's next, what eventually will happen, and so on. But Samuel Richardson focuses more on the psychology of the character, what he will do and what he will do next. Henry Fielding is like a satire on Richardson, I assume. They influenced the writers who came after them. The 18th century coincided with the Industrial Revolution. This is the first reason for the rise of the novel, Industrial Revolution. There is a revolution in the industry. There is development. There is a lot of things that happened, which significantly contributed to the rise of the novel with the invention of printing machine. The Industrial Revolution, they first started with the printing press, the invention of printing press. What is printing press? طابعة, that prints the books and magazines, newspapers, and so on. So, Industrial Revolution started with the printing press. The printing press or the printing machine helped the people that illiterate to become educated. The meaning of illiterate, people who do not read or write. Illiterate اللي هو الأمي، الشخص الأمي اللي ما يقرأ ولا يكتب. By that, they minimized the cost of the books and magazines and newspapers because there's printing press. And there's so much time people dealing with, so they lost the cost, minimized the cost of it, so it's eventually cheap. And everyone, like, when I say everyone, every social class can buy a book, like a poor or middle class or upper class as well. The upper class, we can say about them, they are aristocratic and nobles. The aristocratic, the upper class, and the nobles, النبلاء, nobles from a loyal family as well. The chain of effects of Industrial Revolution improved people's life and living standard. So the Industrial Revolution improved people's life with living standards. How it improved it? The rise of middle class. The rise of middle class, it's improved by trading and commerce, like trading, like buying and selling and so on. Tijara. The rise of educated middle class, illiterate people become literate, the illiterate, the ones who didn't know how to read and write. So the invention of printing press or printing machine make the low class or poor people middle class by educating themselves and becoming better with trading and with commerce as well. Okay? So that's the reason for the rise of middle class. People further increased reading public, which correspondingly led to demand of novels for reading. There is a lot of demand of novels for reading. There's a lot of buying novels. It started with news, magazines, and so on, but the news and the magazines encourage the habit of reading books and reading the novels. So that's why this is important factor, but sub-factor. It's not a factor or a huge reason, because they just increased the newspapers and the magazines just increased the demand of novels by this habit of reading. Books such as Don Externon, these books led the foundation for the development of the novel. These books led to the foundation of development of the novels. Novels like Pamela by Richardson, by Samuel Richardson, and so on, were some noble books that became famous in the 18th century. However, novels continued to evolve in the 19th and 20th century, giving rise of different genres or classes of novel. Okay. The second reason for the rise of the novel, or the factors of the novel, is the decline of romance and drama. We discussed before the Industrial Revolution, and we jumped to the rise of middle class. Sorry for jumping, but that's the way I do. Really sometimes enthusiastic about learning and literature. So yeah. Decline of romance and drama. What's the meaning of romance? Like romantic stuff, dramatic stuff, and so on. This kind of writing is really suitable for the elite or the aristocratic families. Aristocratic is the upper class, the noble families and loyal families. اللي هو الطبقة المخملية. In Arabic, الطبقة المخملية. Romance is a type of writing, romantic, that it's really talking about feelings and romance without the problems that people suffer. So common people got bored with romance, or they had no relevance of any sort of them. The common people, when we say the common people, the middle class, but the elite and aristocratic, they have really soft life, so they love these kinds. But the common people, they got bored enough with it because there's no connection to their lives with it. Romance and drama, come on. In addition, their stories themselves being centuries old. They are really old. People want the current problems they are suffering to. So by that, they will feel tangible to it. Tangible, ملموس, بيحسون فيه محسوس, okay? With that kind. So when novel rise, the decline of romance and drama significantly goes up because the novel is touching the common people interest. The settings in which stories and romance took place were also unrealistic. There's unrealistic or there's not reality with these scenes because the common people didn't relate to it or there's no connection to it, as I said. By that, romance as a literary genre started to decline, got down, they didn't want to read. People started to take interest in the contemporary issues, their current issues they are suffering with, unlike romance, okay? Novels were written in first person. That's a good way to write an essay with it. Novels were written in first person. I go, like with the more personal, recent. For example, I went to the mall and got a book, or I went to the library and I got a book. It was amazing and so on. It's really simple writing, not as romance, okay? With ordinary characters. As I said, decline of drama, also one factor that promoted the rise of the novel, because there's contrast between them. There is difference between them, these genres. The third one, the rise of middle class, but we do talk about it. Let's mention it real fast. The rise of middle class, the growth of industries brought about unprecedented. There is corresponding growth with trade and commerce. As I said, there is trading. What's the reason of rise of middle class? The reason for it are trading and commerce, tijara. That's what distinguished poor people from the aristocratic class. They got in trade, worked on themselves, hustle every day, and then they became a middle class. People were increasingly becoming wealthy. Wealthy اللي هو rich. Wealthy, there's difference between wealthy and rich. Rich is ثري, and wealthy يعني مرة the extreme wealth, ثراء قوي. Okay? With even poor people of lower running being able to raise their status. As I said, poor people, they raise their status with working every day, and then they become wealthy by trading and commerce, as a matter of fact. As I said, they are demanding books to read. Okay, there's an important point of this. You can take like some points of the role of women from here, from the third of this line until the end. Okay. The fourth reason of the rise of the novel is mobile libraries. What is mobile libraries? Mobile libraries were a reason for increasing the reading public, especially with women. Because women, they have leisure time, like free time, a lot of free time when the Industrial Revolution and there's machines that works for them and so on. They have leisure time. So increase the reading public with mobile libraries. What is mobile libraries in the first place? It is a car with like library. So it's mobile. And this car is going from a neighborhood to another. So it makes women read more and encouraged by reading. So yeah, women readers benefited a lot since they used to stay at home. Women in the 18th century stayed at home and exchange books. ممكن يعني they make swap between books from the mobile library. They can buy it because they can't get out of the home. When they see the mobile library, they got in it and buy it. The most important factor of the rise of the novel is the rise of the role of the women. It's really important for this art. You can mention this line into your essay. The rise of middle class and mobile libraries played significant role in the rise of the novel because there's mobile libraries. Like what we can link it with our world, mobile libraries like shopping online. They can order it and then the book will come to their house. So it's really encouraging to read. And for the authors, Danielle Defoe, Samuel Richardson, Henry Fielding, and Lawrence Stern took their novel to the highest point of the glory. Because the highest point of glory, راحوا للمجد, ارتقوا صدق فيها. So this also made the authors really rich the mobile libraries. So it's really important. The last part of the reasons for the rise of the novel is women, the role of women. It's not written in here, but it's really important. You can say about it, women, they got bored from sitting at homes. They were sitting at homes and they were like acting like a good wife or a good child. And there is a lot of boredom. So how they entertain themselves by reading novels, and they love details. So the novels applied to them in a really good way. And also the most important part of it, women's increase the demand of the novels. They make novels rise because they are the half of the industry are buying the novels because they love details, and when they got together they talk about the novel and exchange it with another book in the mobile library. So it's really important with especially women readers. That's it for today. Thank you for attending. See you. Bye-bye.